If your adult child needs a safe space to avoid offensive words, you failed as a fucking parent. If anything in my seminar offends you, blame your parents for raising a pussy.
Welcome back to the FZ600 project, the no charging scenario. So we know it's not taking a charge because we checked it with the multimeter. Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe, you guys. Help me out. I mean, even if you don't come back, it's fine. Just at least help me out. I helped you out, you can help me out. It's super simple. Just subscribe and hit the notification bell. Come on, man. Do us a favor. We create these videos. It takes a lot of work to make this content, man. You know, we like to give up our time, but we also need a little help. I'm not asking anybody for nothing other than just take 1 second, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. That's it. That's all. That's all you got to do. Help me, I help you. All right, so the Stator on the FZ6 is bad. We know because it doesn't hold the charge. Bike runs perfectly fine, so what we're going to be doing is, actually there's a couple things we're going to be doing, but this video is mainly going to be about changing the Stator on the bike and seeing if that solves our charging issue. I have a feeling it's going to. I think the old Stator is bad, and so it's not taking a charge anymore. So we're going to install this. So we got a new gasket, and we got a new Stator here. We also need to empty the oil out of the bike, which is about to happen anyways, because as soon as we take the side cover off, normally there's oil in there, and all that oil comes spewing out. So we are going to end up changing the oil at the same time. It also needs a clutch cable and a new fuel gas tank cap, and I have those. But for right now, this video is just going to be replacing the oil and changing the Stator and then seeing if that solves our problem. So let's get going. I'm going to go get my camera tripod and set up stuff, and let's get outside in the garage and do this. Alrighty guys, let's get started here. So you can see I've got an oil catch can down there because obviously the majority of the oil is coming out of this bike right now. You have a whole bunch of Allen keys. So this Stator wire is actually wrapped up here, and it connects right to this big connector right here. You guys can see that it's really simple. Just trace the wire. There's a connector up underneath there. And all of these Allen bolts that we're going to be taking off all the way around for the Stator are 5, Allen key size 5. So let's crack these loose, start backing them off. We're probably going to have to tap this with a hammer to get it off there. And that one undid pretty easily. Let's see if the rest of these are the same way. That would be really nice. Good. All right, let me go grab a tool so I can speed my process up. I'll be right back, guys. I'm going to pause this recording. Okay, I am back, and we're going to be doing it this way. That'll really speed up our life. A little electric tool, and yeah. So let's back these out real fast. This has not started leaking oil yet, which is also a big plus. However, we've come up on that time where it's time to give this a little bit of a tap. So I'm going to be doing this with a cloth on here. And we're going to give this a tap, see if we can break it free. There we go. I'm starting to see some oil drip out now. Let's just work this slowly out. There we go. And we'll let that drain just like that. Actually, the viscosity of this oil isn't too bad. I may put this back in there when we're done. We'll see. Did I miss one? I don't think I did. No. It's just being held on there good by the old gasket's kind of holding it on there. So let me go grab a screwdriver here. We're going to slowly pry on it. We don't care about the old gasket because we're going to be taking it off anyway, so it really doesn't matter. So, oh boy. Get this up and in there. Going to pry just a little bit here. There we go. Remember, it's kind of magnetically being held on there, which is what's happening. Oh, got a gear sliding out here. Let's pop that gear back in there. There we go. Don't want that gear popping out. All right, so there's the old system. Like the gasket almost came off pretty darn clean, to be honest with you. Goody. I was expecting that to be really bad on there. Nice. It's just peeling up gently. Look at that. Beautiful. Beauty. All right, let's set that aside. So, it's like we got some star bits to take these off. This is going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you look really good inside of here. So there's a star bit there, star bit, star bit, star bit. Now, I have star bits, but I'm guessing that these are probably going to take a impact driver to get these off. So make sure before you get started that you have an impact driver to take these off. This is going to be a lot of fun, I can already tell, to get these cracked loose and off of there. And then you need to pay attention to the routing of your wire. You can see that there's a wedge down there, and that the wires go underneath this and then they push on here. So something else to also be paying attention to. But overall, looks like the gasket pretty much just popped off of there. That is beautiful that that is the case. I love it. It means I don't have to do too much cleaning. I can literally just wipe this off and that's the end of it. I don't have to sit here and scrape and scrape and scrape. It's all pretty much off of there. That worked out really, really well. So, all right, well, we're going to let that drain for a while there. It doesn't look like that's all the oil, but the oil filter's right here. So whatever comes out of this bike, we'll go ahead and put back in. But I think the next step here is to find the star bits that fit this, and then we're going to use my impact driver, and we're going to take that off so we can put the new one on there. So that's what's going to happen. So let me grab some more tools here, guys, and we'll get cracking away at this. Oh boy. So if you guys are wondering, it is a Starbit T30. Let's see if I can get in. There you go. That is a Starbit, which is a T30. And that's going to go in the end of my impact driver, and then we're going to pop those off. So that's what it requires to remove those, is a T30. Okay, guys, got my cardboard out here. This is what I normally paint on. This will work perfect for not scratching this case up here. Make sure we got this cleaned off. And I have a impact driver with the Starbit on there. Let's see if we can pop these off easily without having to fight this too much. There's one. There's two. There's three. There's four. All right, I can back out the rest of these just by switching this head over to this guy right here easily. Take off my 5 that I put on there, switch it back over to this, and then we don't have to undo those by hand. There we go. All right, set that aside. Oh boy, let me go get the new one here, guys. Let's get this one fitted on there nicely. So as you can see, this one goes upside down, and it looks like the clip, so it actually goes right there. So what I'm judging this by, so I can see, is that clip right down there, and you might not be able to see that very well. There's a clip right there. That's actually this piece right down here. You can probably see it better on that one. That's going to be the lining up point, because I can see that as the complete bottom of it. So when I put this in, it's going to go in just like that, and then we route the wires up. So, let me try to move you guys a little closer here, and I will access the flash for you. See if that helps. Sorry, it's kind of dark today, guys. I'm doing my best here for you. Doing my best. Zoom in a little bit more. There we go. You might be able to see a bit more now. So I will try to do this in front of the camera the whole time the best I can, all right? Oh, stators are not my favorite thing to do. This can be a real pain in the butt sometimes. So make sure these are all the same size. They are. Good. 1, 2, 3, and then this one might be the short one. That is the short one. So we're going to remove this little bracket here first. Get that out of the way. Set that right there. This might be kind of a pain in the butt to pop out too. There you go. So you see how that went? 2 spacers in there, real easy. Pretty self-explanatory. Now let's see if we can get this guy out of here comfortably. So, there we go. Set that guy just like that. And then we're going to drop this one down in there. That's it. That is the winner. Flip this over here. Get this ready to go in its spot. Come on, you. Come on. There we go. Push that in there real good. I can tell that this is going to be problematic here. This came a little misformed in the package. Yeah, you don't want to stay on there too well, do you? Yeah, I can tell this is going to be a real fight. Even when I get that on there. So, let's have a look at this. Yeah, it's correct. It's just tight. That's what happens with aftermarket. So, that should flatten out enough to make a seal. All right, well, let's pull this up a little bit if we can. Unless that's just fitted. That seems to be just where that wants to sit at. Yep, that does not want to move at all. So I guess that's just where that's going to be. That's going to be fun to put down and get sealed. I can tell you that right now. All right, well, let's get this lined up anyways. Let's get this lined up anyways. We'll do this first. Let's get this guy on there. Let's get this guy on there. We're going to get this started down here if I can. Take it gently with this. There we go. Get all this lined up. And we'll pop that on there while that's tight. And we'll start tightening this down. There we go. Looks like that's holding it like it should. There's still clearance for that to spin. Is that making a seal? Yes, it is. Okay, good. All right, now we just have to turn this till the holes line up. There they are. Start getting these back in here. Let's get a couple of these in here started. Let's see if we can put these down at all with these. There's that. There's that. Actually, I'm going to back this one out because I think this one might be cross-threading a little bit. I'm going to try this again by hand. Yeah, there we go. I think we're good now. All right. So this is pretty much installed at this point. That's what it looks like anyways. Gonna double check my work a little bit here. Double checky worky. Everything looks good. All right. Switch the head over. Give these a quick zap down. All right. You don't want to go too much. You don't want to strip them out, but you definitely want them tight. Okay. Let me wipe off. There's a little bit of gasket left on this guy, so let me clean the rest of the engine case over there. This one's ready to install. This is kind of an annoyance. I really don't like this. I hate that this is, because it's third party, it doesn't have a great fit on here. I'm really going to have to mash this down when it comes time to seating this properly. So that's unfortunate. Looks like it's going to make a good seal, but still just kind of sucks. That's all. It just sucks. Kind of sucks, you know. All right, what's up? Welcome back. Oh, boy. Just going to slowly work on some of this stuff where I can see that it needs a little bit of cleaning. Got a razor blade here. Going to shave. Let me move this. It's going to shave some of the old gasket off here where I can see that it was making kind of a weird couple spots on here that need a little bit of love. Trying to do this quick. That's pretty much it. All right, so the fun begins now because this is going to be a real pain in the butt getting all of this back together properly. I'm going to move all that because what's going to happen is this is magnetic, right? So as soon as you go to put this on there, it's going to want to suck it right to it. You know what I mean? So what we're going to do is put the gasket on here first. You can see these little holes, these studs. Those studs are what we're going to put the gasket on so that we know it just goes on there smoothly. Okay. So let's take this new gasket. The first thing we're going to do, if you know anything about putting on new gaskets, is take your finger and put it in the oil and go all the way around all of this, everywhere. Put the old oil all the way along this. All right. You're going to do the same thing with the cover when you go to put the cover back on because this will create a good seal. So anytime you put on new gaskets or anything like that, if you can, you want to take some of the old oil and rub it all over the mating surface. Everywhere that you can get it comfortably along the entire mating surface, and that will help you create a very good seal with the new gasket. So we're going to do that on the case or in the cover when we go to put it back together as well. So let's cut this guy open if I can figure out what I just did with my razor blade, because of course I just set that down and lost it. So, all right, let's see how this opens up. Is this going to open up easily, or is this going to put up a fight? No, it's going to put up a fight. Okay, then I'll just cut this open down here with the razor blade and see if I can open it after I cut it open. Let's see if that worked out. I just need to peel this plastic away. That's it. There we go. I can get this plastic open, and I should be able to get this cover out just like that. There we go. You want to do this without obviously ripping the gasket. The way they seal these things is really strange. It's kind of a pain in the butt because it's super easy to rip the gasket if you're not paying attention to what you're doing when you're opening this. So pop that off there gradually. All right. So this is going to go on just like this. And as you can see, it pretty much lines up the holes. Make sure that you get that on there good. That's what these little studs are for. They're for really helping seat this. So when you go to put it back on, it's easy. These little hubs right here. Okay. And now, like I said, we're going to take the case before we try to snap it back on there. And if I can grab it here, if you guys can see that, we're going to put oil all the way around all this as well, and then we're going to put it on there. So give me 1 sec, get some oil all over everything. 1 sec here, folks. And like I said, this will really simplify your life. Makes a great seal. Great seal. All right. So now that I've got that done, this is where things get fun because this is going to want to fight me. This rubber up here is just not the best. So let's see if we can put this on reasonably quick with all these holes staying lined up. And I want to watch my fingers because once this magnetically grabs, it's going to grab hard just like that. And now we're going to have to pull this out just a little bit. Okay, be careful with the gasket. Make sure that goes on there how it should. Come on, you can do it. Get on there. All right, so now it's just going to be tampering with this thing carefully until it lines up and falls into place. Like that. Okay, so look down your holes now. Make sure that your gasket's lined up enough before you start putting these bolts back in. But we are now. We're going to start lining these up, slightly putting them in by hand a little bit before we start cracking these down. When I go to tighten this, I'm going to keep a good amount of pressure on that. So there's that one. There's that one. All right, let's reroute this wire and plug it in. Then we'll put this oil back in the bike here. And we'll crank it up and we'll put the multimeter on it and see if it's taking a charge now that we replaced the Stator. Okie doke, let's get going. All right, so if you guys can see this, here's the Stator wire that gets tucked back here behind the frame and then comes up and around. This can be a real pain in the ass to do. And that's got to go, actually, I think it has to go under this right here, yep. And then that comes up and through here. And then it plugs into this big connector right here. If you guys can see that, that connection point right there, that's the one you're plugging into. So let's go ahead and pop that guy on there. If I can get it. If I can get it in there. There we go. Bam. We are connected. Okay. Let's re-add the oil to the bike, and then I'll get my multimeter and we'll start this thing up and see if it's taking a charge. So while it was running, it was just killing the battery. You could see it was below 12 volts and it was just trying to run the bike just off the battery's power. Now we should be at like 13 to 14 volts at idle. So let's go ahead and put the oil back in the bike real quick. I don't think I need to show doing that. It's fairly simple to do. So let me get to the next step where we'll just do the multimeter section of this. All right, I'm going to crank this bike up and I'm going to hook this up to the battery and we're going to see if this thing is taking any kind of real charge now. I'm hoping for the best. Let's go. Okay, so that did not seem to change the charging system. It still seems to be drawing off the battery. So the next thing we're going to do is change the rectifier. Let's see if we can figure out where the rectifier is on this bike and see if that is the problem. We'll see if that's the problem. This has got a brand new Stator in there. So we got to track down the rectifier now. See if we can figure out where that's at and go from there. So let me do a little bit of research here and I'll get back to you guys. So if you guys are wondering, here's the old rectifier and here's the new one already mounted. I'm going to show you where that mounts to just so you guys have an idea. Oh boy. This actually goes right here. There's two bolts. There's a bolt here and a bolt here. I put those bolts up there. They are an Allen key, and this just slides right up in there. You know which way this goes because the back has a rubber grommet that fits right there on that little peg. So all you're going to do is put this back up in there and get this lined up with that grommet like that. And then, see how I got it lined up on the grommet? And then all you have to do is hold it up with your other hand and put the Allens back into it right there. You can see the holes line up. Well, I don't know if you guys can, but I can see that the holes line up. So you just line up the holes and then all you got to do is plug your wire right there back into that connector right there and you're done, which I'm actually going to plug it in before I reconnect it, but that's how you remove and replace your rectifier on the FC. I'm going to start this up and then I'm going to hook my leads up and we're going to see if that solved our problem. We should be seeing above 13 volts while this thing is running. So obviously the replacing the Stator didn't fix it, but let's see if the rectifier is the problem. So let's crank this up. I just popped on the new one, just plugged it in. And let's hook these leads up. There you go. There you go, right there. And it's continuing to go up. So we had a bad rectifier and I'm guessing the Stator was probably close to on its way out, but it is working how it should now. So it is definitely charging the system at this point. So I'm going to let this run for a minute. The charging system has been solved on this bike. Let me see if I can hold these in place and rev this up a few times and it should go up in voltage. Yes, okay. So there you go. Sorry, I'm moving these wires around a lot. It's definitely taking a charge now.